Breaking news, people. Stop whatever you're doing because Atlanta is on fire again, and not because of the heat index. Oh no, we're talking digital flames. The streets are screaming, the blogs are drooling, and the group chats melting. Down faster than Kirk's credibility after the paternity scandal, so here's the million-dollar question. What happens when loyalty over everything turns into screenshots over everything? Because that's exactly where we're at. Yandy, yes, the queen of calm captions and chess moves, just dropped something that has Rasheeda's boutique hanging on by a clearance rack thread and Jasmine sipping unbothered cocktails, like she's auditioning for the villain role in a telenovela. But wait, do you actually believe these receipts are the whole truth? Or are we watching the greatest clout-chasing performance Atlanta's ever seen? Because let's be real, in this city, perception doesn't just matter. It rules. And right now, the perception is that Rasheeda traded loyalty for likes, Jasmine traded class for chaos, and Yandy. She's cashing in one cryptic caption at a time, so grab your popcorn. Hide your group chats and tell your messy cousin to tune in, because tonight, we're dissecting the loyalty war receipts like it's the Zapruder film of Instagram beef. Atlanta has never been a stranger to drama, but what unfolded between Yandy, Rasheeda, and Jasmine is the kind of scandal that feels less like reality television and more like a Shakespearean tragedy dressed up in Instagram filters and viral hashtags. To understand how we got here, you have to start with the reputation each of these women had already built for themselves, because this was not some random beef that appeared overnight. This was a slow simmer that had been cooking for years, and the city had been waiting for it to boil over. Yandy always positioned herself as the calm strategist, the woman who never needed to raise her voice, because she could simply post one cryptic caption and let the internet do the rest. She knew how to play the perception game better than anyone, and that made her dangerous. Rasheeda, on the other hand, had spent years cultivating the image of family-first businesswoman, boutique owner, and loyal wife, even though the streets never forgot the countless humiliations she suffered publicly through her husband Kirk's scandals. Every time she tried to rebrand herself, someone always reminded her of the past, and that made her image fragile. Then there was Jasmine, who seemed to thrive on chaos, never the main star but always orbiting the drama with a smirk that told you she enjoyed watching the flames grow higher. The combination of these three was a ticking time bomb, and Atlanta knew it. The first sparks had been subtle, the kind of shade you could brush off as coincidence. But fans of reality television have PhDs in decoding subliminals. When Yandy first dropped that caption about screenshots and loyalty, it was like a bat signal to the entire city. Everyone knew receipts were about to fly, and in Atlanta, nothing spreads faster than the promise of proof. Within hours, blogs were pushing emergency updates, podcasts went live without even fixing their mics, and Twitter threads stacked up like dominoes, all pointing to one conclusion. Rasheeda had been moving funny, and Jasmine was right in the middle of it. Suddenly, old interviews resurfaced where Rasheeda hesitated when talking about Yandy. Suddenly, old clips of Jasmine laughing in the background of other people's arguments were recirculated as if fans had cracked the Da Vinci Code of Atlanta. Mess. The streets did not just want answers, they demanded them. When the anonymous page dropped that first muffled voice note, the city practically went into lockdown. The audio quality was trash. You could barely tell who was speaking, but the fans swore they heard Jasmine's laugh and Rasheeda's soft voice saying, "You are the only one who gets it." Out of context, it was vague, but Atlanta does not need context. It only needs a spark. That small clip was enough to convince thousands that Yandy had been right all along. Memes exploded overnight, painting Rasheeda as a fake loyal friend and Jasmine as the messy instigator. Comments filled with clown emojis poured into Rasheeda's page, and silence became her worst enemy. In this city, silence is not innocence. Silence is guilt, and every minute Rasheeda stayed quiet, her reputation slipped further out of her control. Meanwhile, Yandy played her role perfectly. Instead of ranting or going live to scream at her enemies, She simply posted a calm carousel of family pictures and business meetings with a caption that read, "Family never fakes loyalty." It was devastating because it let the world see her as composed while her opponents looked messy by default. The blogs ate it up, the fans dissected every word, and suddenly the narrative was cemented. Yandy was the queen of composure while Rasheeda was spiraling. Kirk tried to intervene with one of his gym post captions about energy not lying, but fans dragged him so badly that his words only made Rasheeda look worse. People reminded him of his own scandals and told him he had no right to talk about loyalty when he had humiliated his wife on national television. The more he tried to defend her, the deeper she sank. Then came the blurry group chat screenshot, the one that spread faster than wildfire. 3 names at the top, Jasmine, Rasheeda, and 1 blurred out contact. The messages looked casual, but fans read them like they were ancient prophecy. Jasmine writing, "Cis people so pressed over our trip, let them talk," and Rasheeda allegedly replying, "Yeah, they always looking for drama, just keep it low." Whether the screenshot was doctored or not did not matter. In Atlanta, perception is louder than proof, and perception declared Rasheeda guilty. Bloggers framed it as Rasheeda and Jasmine's secret alliance. Fans wrote long threads analyzing typing styles, and the city collectively decided the loyalty war was officially underway. The pressure mounted so high that Rasheeda eventually tried to post a soft defense. A photo with her kids, a caption about standing on family and truth and avoiding drama. It backfired instantly. The comments shredded her alive, with people asking why her name was in group chats if she was so innocent, and why she always used her kids as a shield when things got messy. What she thought would protect her only became more ammunition for critics, and once again, Yandy came out looking like the master chess player. Each cryptic caption from Yandy only tightened the noose around Rasheeda's image. The city was hooked. The narrative was writing itself, and the scandal was no longer whispers, it was a roaring fire that threatened to burn down everything Rasheeda had built. The blogs were already calling it the loyalty war, and Atlanta was watching with popcorn in hand, waiting to see who would survive the fallout. The tension did not slow down after that soft defense. It only grew sharper and nastier, because once the internet decides you are guilty, there is no pause button and no court of appeal. Fans began replaying old episodes of Love and Hip Hop, digging up clips of Rasheeda making side eyes when Yandy spoke, and editing them into montages with captions claiming the betrayal was visible all along. The more people watched, the more they convinced themselves that history had already been showing them the truth. They just had not connected the dots until now. The fan base acted like unpaid detectives combing through years of footage. Instagram comments and live streams turning every shrug and every laugh into supposed evidence. Yandy stayed mostly silent, but each time she did post, it was carefully timed and devastating in its calmness. A simple quote about loyalty, a casual photo with her kids, or a boardroom picture was enough to keep her positioned as the woman above the chaos while everyone else drowned. This composure made Rasheeda look even messier, because the contrast was impossible to ignore. Asterisk, when Jasmine finally decided to speak, she chose the worst way possible. She went live late at night, her hair tied back, her tone casual, but her smirk telling the world she was enjoying every second of the mess. She admitted she and Rasheeda had been hanging out, but dismissed it as nothing serious, just friends doing what friends do. The problem was not what she said, but how she said it. Every laugh, every drawn-out syllable sounded like she was mocking the entire situation, and instead of clearing Rasheeda's name, she buried her even deeper. Clips from the live spread instantly across blogs, with fans screaming that Jasmine was loving the drama too much and using it for attention. Instead of helping her supposed friend, she ended up cementing her reputation as the messy side character who thrived on tension. The internet is merciless when it senses you are enjoying the chaos, and Jasmine found herself labeled the villain of Atlanta almost overnight. Asterisk spice. The loyalty war was expanding, and even those who tried to stay neutral were being dragged onto the battlefield. Then came the second voice note leak, the one that was far clearer than the first. This time, there was no muffled background noise to hide behind. The audio allegedly featured Jasmine telling Rasheeda to keep it low because people were going to believe whatever they wanted anyway, followed by a voice that fans swore was Rasheeda, admitting she was tired of pretending for cameras. That single line detonated like a bomb because it shifted the scandal from a question of loyalty to a question of authenticity. If Rasheeda was tired of pretending, then what else about her brand and her relationships was fake? Was her entire image of loyalty and family values just a storyline? The city went into a frenzy, demanding answers and filling comment sections with accusations of fakery. Fans asked what exactly Rasheeda had been pretending about and why she would throw Yandy under the bus just to keep up appearances. The scandal was no longer just betrayal between friends, it was now an accusation of deception, and the very foundation of Rasheeda's career was cracking. Kirk, of course, could not resist jumping into the fire again, and like clockwork, he only made things worse. He posted a caption about energy not lying and people lying, and the internet tore him apart in minutes. Every scandal he had ever been involved in was brought back into the spotlight, from his cheating to his public humiliations of Rasheeda, and fans laughed at the audacity of him trying to lecture anyone about loyalty instead of helping his wife. He reminded everyone of her years of pain and betrayal, which only made her look weaker and less credible. His interference became ammunition against her and the Frost family name was dragged into the mud alongside the scandal. Meanwhile, Yandy continued to move like a strategist, dropping vague captions that let the fans connect the dots themselves. One post read, "Loyalty is free, but some people cannot afford it," and that line alone trended across social media, turned into memes and motivational quotes. She never had to scream, never had to expose everything in one go. She simply gave crumbs and let Atlanta turn them into feasts. The narrative was fully in her control, and the city was waiting breathlessly for the next drop. Bloggers sharpened their knives, podcasts speculated about what else she might have, and fans made TikToks guessing what kind of receipts were still hidden. The promise of a finale hung over the city like a thundercloud, and nobody wanted to miss the moment when Yandy finally decided to unleash the full, unblurred truth. When the finale finally arrived, it did not come with screaming videos or chaotic rants. It came in the calmest, most devastating form possible. A simple carousel post on Yandy's page that looked innocent at first glance, but turned out to be the final nail in Rasheeda's coffin. The first picture was Yandy smiling with her kids, the second showed her surrounded by her business team, and the third was the group chat, unblurred, undeniable, and time-stamped so perfectly that even the most skeptical fan could not argue it away. In the chat, Jasmine wrote that people were pressed about their closeness and told Rasheeda to let them choke. Rasheeda then followed with a brutal line saying Yandy was always playing victim, and that was why she had stopped rocking with her, and that it was all for cameras. Jasmine piled on with another line, laughing and calling Yandy fake loyal and questioning how people could not see through her. These messages were so direct that the internet exploded within seconds. There was no blurry defense, no claims of editing that could save Rasheeda, because the betrayal was right there in black and white with her name attached to it. Atlanta erupted, hashtags trended across platforms, and the blogs treated it like a national emergency. Rasheeda tried to fight back, but every word out of her mouth only made things worse. She posted explanations claiming the messages were taken out of context, but fans mocked her, asking how many contexts could make calling someone fake loyal acceptable. Others accused her of gaslighting the public because she could not out-talk hard evidence. The more she typed, the more the ridicule grew, and her every attempt at a defense was twisted into proof of guilt. When she pivoted back to family posting her kids and long captions about choosing peace, the backlash was even harsher. Critics accused her of hiding behind her children whenever she got caught, and commenters flooded her boutique page with clown emojis until even her brand began to feel the impact. Then came the alleged leaked email from a fashion company announcing it was cutting ties with her boutique over image concerns. Whether that email was real or fabricated did not matter because perception once again ruled the day and the damage was brutal. Years of rebranding and slow rebuilding collapsed in a single week, and the boutique that once symbolized her independence became a laughingstock online. Jasmine, on the other hand, leaned all the way into her villain role, which might have felt clever at first but quickly backfired. She went live sipping drinks and smirking while fans spammed her comments with insults. She tried to frame herself as unbothered, claiming people were too pressed about who she chose to hang out with. But the audience read her smirk as arrogance and enjoyed turning her into the internet's new punchline. Memes labeled her a professional homewrecker and messy villain who thrived on chaos but never actually won. Every word she said dragged Rasheeda down further because instead of clearing her friend's name, Jasmine made it clear she loved the spectacle. Their alliance became toxic, not only in perception, but in the way it fueled fan outrage. The city branded Jasmine, the side character who brought no value except drama, and once the crowd places you in that box, there is no easy way out. Kirk kept inserting himself, and each time his interference reopened old wounds. When he wrote about strong women not needing approval, fans reminded him of every scandal, every affair, and every humiliation he had ever caused Rasheeda. His attempts at support became reminders of betrayal, and instead of protecting his wife, he made her look weaker, tied to a man the public had never forgiven. His name trended alongside hers, but always with ridicule and disgust. Commenters joked that the Frost family needed a professional PR team more than a boutique, and the once admired couple became the city's favorite cautionary tale. Even Spice could not dodge the fallout, because when the final set of receipts dropped, they included Jasmine and Rasheeda shading her as well. The messages revealed them calling her messy and pretending to be neutral while stirring drama, which meant Spice was not just a bystander anymore. She was officially dragged into the war. Fans went wild with bone emojis, calling her the ultimate bone carrier and accusing her of enjoying the destruction of friendships. Every live stream she attempted to lighten the mood only made her look guiltier, and her bubbly laughter was replayed, as proof that she had always known more than she admitted. By the end, her name was dragged nearly as badly as Rasheeda's and Jasmine's, and her carefully balanced, neutral image shattered. Through it all, Yandy never lost her composure. She let the screenshots speak for themselves, and when she finally did appear on video, it was not in anger, but in calm, measured tones. She looked into the camera and said, "Sometimes the people you break bread with will turn around and break your back, but the thing about truth is it always shows itself. Loyalty is priceless, and once it is gone forever." That simple clip spread like wildfire far beyond Atlanta, far beyond the love and hip-hop fan base, and turned Yandy into a symbol of strength and strategy. She had played the entire scandal like a chess game, giving crumbs, letting others bury themselves, and delivering the fatal blow when the timing was perfect. The fallout was devastating. Rasheeda lost credibility and brands pulled back. Jasmine embraced her villainy, but became nothing more than a running joke. Spice was dragged into the mud with no way to climb out clean. Kirk managed to humiliate himself yet again by reminding the world of every past failure. And Yandy walked away untouched, crowned by the streets as the ultimate strategist of the loyalty war. What began as whispers and subliminal captions ended in total collapse of alliances, reputations, and careers, and the streets of Atlanta declared a verdict that no judge could overturn. Yandy won, Rasheeda was finished, Jasmine was exposed, Spice was cornered, and Kirk had sunk his own ship. The loyalty war ended not with fists or screaming, but with receipts that Atlanta will never forget. And that right there is how the so-called loyalty war reached its explosive conclusion. A battle that started with whispers and cryptic captions, but ended with careers crumbling and reputations reduced to memes. But let me ask you this. Do you really think this is over? Or is Atlanta just waiting for the next messy leak to light up the internet again? Because if history has taught us anything, it is that screenshots never stay buried and silence always hides a storm. So I want to hear from you. Do you think Rasheeda can ever recover from this? Or is her brand permanently stained? Was Jasmine playing the villain all along? Or is she just the scapegoat for a bigger betrayal? And most importantly, did Yandy truly win, or did she just master the art of letting the streets do her work for her? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I know y'all have opinions. Make sure to hit that like button if you think loyalty is priceless, and subscribe if you believe more receipts are always on the way. Trust me, you do not want to miss the next chapter when Atlanta decides to spill again.